I came here several times with my father when I was little, but stopped eating here as often after growing up.
Oh, don't worry. We haven't eaten at a hotel like this in a while. Paimon's getting excited already.
In that case, I'll go order for us first.
Ooh, everything looks so good. People...
Why, of course. Go ahead, try whatever you like. If the food's good, I'll make a group reservation for the rest of Spina di Rosula next time.
And if it's not?
Well, then I'll still bring everyone.
You, sure have your own way. Oh, we called this a farewell meal, but we could also treat it like a victory feast, right? We did.
Oh, true. Very true. In that case, boss, we'll have another two.
Huh? Paimon didn't mean that you had to order even more food. Speaking of cases, do you think that the mastermind behind the cereal disappeared?
Well, we've certainly taken a big step forward, but I feel that's about it. We know that there's an
If it hadn't happened right in front of us, Paimon wouldn't have ever believed that a person could be dissolved like...
Right? Yet it was because this was such a
Ugh. If only that guy could have finished speaking!
In such investigations, even the smallest step can seem like, to be honest, I don't have high hopes for any follow-up that the authorities might conduct. It's not that I don't have faith in their ability. It's just that a different perspective. It's easy to guard against and deceive a single narrow perspective. A shift in thinking is required, which is exactly why the Spina di Rosula exists. Those highfalutin folk are not all-knowing. That's why we exist. To seep into the cracks where filth falls through. Where they're watched.
Seems Paimon thought things were...
It's all right. Well, this was supposed to be a farewell meal, so I doubt you have further interest in this business, right? Let's talk about something else. Like, what are your future plans?
That's true. We didn't have a chance to speak to her after the trial ended.
I see. So, your primary objective, which has been foiled... I've heard that there's a long line of people waiting to meet Lady Farina. I suspect you'll be waiting for quite a...
Yeah, we've heard that she's super popular here in Fontaine, and that it'll be tough getting...
Well, would you consider some more, unique?
Guess that's Spina di Rosula's boss for you. Chock full of sketchy ideas. Well, what did you have in...
Well, one way would be to infiltrate a performance troupe at the Opera House, only to abandon your act at the play's climax and ask to speak to... I'm sure Lady Farina would be eager to see the ending, and would agree in order to finish watching the play.
Could you suggest something a little more practical? This plan seems pretty hard to pull off.
All right, here's another. Find a way to conceal yourselves under her bed. Then, wake her up in the dead of night. I can personally testify that this one works. When I'm sleepy, I'll do anything as long as I can find...
That might work, but that's not really the problem.
Valid point. I overlooked that part. I was just thinking about leveraging a person... all right, no more joking around. You did defeat her in court, clearing citizens of hers from false accusations. False accusation? She had nearly...
You mean that if we catch her while she's on a break, she might be too embarrassed to refuse? Why don't we give it a try after this meal? You know, strike while the iron is hot.
Huh? Paimon, did you drink my Fanta?
Was this your drink? Sorry about that. Paimon wasn't really paying...
No, it's fine. We're just about done here.
Alright. Honestly, Paimon wouldn't recommend Fanta anyway. It tastes kind of salty and icky.
Is that so? Well, in that case, we'll have to blacklist the Fanta here then. If we're all finished eating, then I'll go pay.
Yeah, we're stuffed. Oh, so full. Paimon can barely float anymore. Nah, that would be so... normal. You You know, like...
Okay. As for expense...
Hey, Navia! What are you doing?
Oh, nothing. It was just a meal, you know? Nothing the Spina di Rosula can't cover.
Let's get ready to try to meet the Hydro Archon again.
So this is goodbye, huh? Well, if you do encounter any other trouble in Fontaine, you're always welcome to contact this. In any case, I wish you smooth...
See ya!
Time to go.
There aren't many people around anymore. Looks like that boat we took to Araneas might have been the last one.
Vache.
Looks like we're back here again. Huh? Traveler? Are you... Ugh. That's kind of spooky. Are you sure we don't want to come...
Vache. Vache.
Hey, why are you still walking towards it? There might be something nasty in the wall. Huh? Hang on. Paimon can kind of hear a voice. It's calling for... Hey, Traveler? Stop walking! Come on, wake up!
Vache, are you my dear Vache? No, wait. You seem to be someone else. Do you know Vache? Wait. Who am I? I'm very sorry. My memories feel like they have been washed away like a flood. So many fragments dissolved amidst the tide, never to be recovered. How much have I lost? How many things that I once held dear while on land have I since forgotten? Yes, that is what I was once. But now, I do not know how I came to be like this either. I only vaguely remember being covered in light blue water, and then all grew dim. I also remember going to many places. No matter where I went, Vache would go with me. I knew how dearly he loved me. But now, we can no longer go back. No! Our reunion no longer has any meaning. The thought of me gives him no succor. So let it lie forgotten beneath. If you meet Vache, tell him not to look for me. Tell him to move on. Perhaps that is so. As I was submerged in the waters, losing consciousness, I saw Vache above the surface. If only I could have comforted him. Told him that I did not suffer. Indeed, is that what you call it? Dissolving? If anything, it was a state of neither fear nor frenzy, with only an endless... I could also liken it to being a thirsty person who drinks water for the first time, and only then sees how they have lived for so long in a world... I think I hear your companion. It's time for you to... Farewell, then. I am glad that you were able to sense my presence.
Wake up! Come on, hurry! Navi is outnumbered!
Dear God, it's a whole army of Gardamex. Chlorand? Quick, now's our chance! I should thank you for lending us your sword there, Chlorand. But before I do so, could you explain how you—
I followed you. It seemed to me that danger has followed you more closely as of—
I believe that following someone without their knowledge is actually called—
Mr. Callus's last wish was for me to ensure your safety, and I will not betray his trust. He would do the same.
Do not speak of my father!
Sorry, demoiselle. I was not strong enough.
Thank you for your aid, Miss Clorand, but do keep an eye out for your manner of speech. I believe we all wish to avoid
Sorry, I did not consider your feelings.
Whatever. What else do you know? How did you come to the conclusion—
I doubt I know much more than you, but I believe that the mastermind behind the serial disappearances is very powerful. Your performance tonight will almost certainly attract their attention.
I'm sure they've known about me. To be honest, I'm shocked. And what about these Gardamex? I thought only those associated with a Maison Gardiennage could
None of these mecha have serial numbers. I was sure to check a moment ago. They are not the ones used by the authorities to enforce the law. I can only conclude that some powerful or wealthy party must have obtained them
What? Your point being that they're out of Spina di Rosula's league, then?
Yes. Be careful, and do not act rash.
I will continue investigating, no matter what. We will bring the truth to light. Regardless, thank you for your help today, Clorand.
I do not think that they'll strike again anytime soon. So I shall stop following you.
Right. I suppose that's the best news.
Demoiselle, I believe that Miss Clorand was being sincere with you.
I know, she's...
Oh, thank goodness! Paimon thought we were done for! Those Gardamex came out of nowhere while you were unconscious, and Nadia and her gang saved us! Oh, and there was that champion duelist named Clorand who came out to save us too! We got lucky there. Paimon probably couldn't have fought them off otherwise.
Oh, come now. Forget all that polite talk. That wasn't really a farewell meal we had back there. Not for me, as such. We're still partners.
It will take 50 years for me to match Demoiselle's magnanimity.
If it were me, I would have joined the Spina di Rosula on account of...
All right, you two.
Actually, Navia, how did you know that we were in danger?
Well, to be honest, you're the one who tipped us off, Paimon.
Huh? Really? Paimon contributed somehow?
Yes. All thanks to you grabbing my drink by mistake.
How did that?
After we parted ways, I was on the way back to one of our bases when I suddenly thought of that the Fanta tasted kind of salty and icky. Fanta only comes in sweet flavors, so how could it have tasted salty? The color of the drink, if I...
So the Fanta had been spiked with water from the primordial sea?
Yes. So, if you hadn't drunk that cup for me...
Spina di Rosula is preparing the grandest of awards for you as we speak for safe...
Huh. Really?
I sent people to Hotel de Boer to investigate, but whoever did this left no trace at all. That's when I figured out that you might be in danger, and her—
But why would they go after us too? All we did was defend Linny and—
Well, you did foil a plan that they were probably pretty proud of, and almost got their— Speaking of which, did anything strange happen when you drank the primordial?
Well, it can't be a coincidence that the traveler fainted just now. Oh, and this time Paimon heard it too! But it was real faint. Does that mean the primordial seawater raises someone's sensitivity to hydro and—
That doesn't sound like too much of a bad thing, to be honest.
New intel? While you—
Well, let's hear it, shall we? Oh, that is important. Vache. That name doesn't ring a bell. I suppose since he saw that young woman dissolve, he was at least at the— But he never gave testimony or any information regarding people dissolving in the primordial seawater. Yes, thank you. This is very important information indeed. We will continue to investigate. Oh, you mean you'll help us investigate?
Well, you did say that our farewell meal didn't really count. That means we're still— And besides, we're in this now whether we like it or not. You're not gonna let those people who targeted us get off—
Demoiselle, do try not to look quite so pleased. You are the face of Spina di Rosso.
You talk too much. Well, in that case, let's head back to one of our bases, shall we? We also have some plans to go over, and hopefully we can deepen our bonds as partners.
Don't worry, you two. With us around, our base is...
It's right up ahead, but let's make sure we weren't followed first.
I've been keeping watch, demoiselle. I haven't spotted any...
Very good. But
I shall find rooms for our respected guests.
thank you, Malus. Now, let's
This is your base? It's not—
Your accommodations have been arranged. Under the present circumstances, I can confidently say it's...
Well, our funds have been a lit. After all, we don't allow illegal or unethical profiteering. In fact, our funds often come from...
Seems like it's tough times for everyone. But if you—
To be honest, our financial situation was a lot better back when my father was in charge.
Your father— he was the previous boss's—
Demoiselle, if you'll allow me to explain...
No. I'll explain it myself. I suppose I couldn't run from this top. My father's name is Callus. Yes, the same one they call Callus the Unfaithful in the streets. 3 years ago, he was accused of murdering his own friend. But he chose a duel to defend his honor, instead of stand—
Oh no.
But I do not believe my father was a murderer. At the time, I believed that if he only stood trial and was duly investigated, but strangely, he not only requested the duel that even after being seriously injured, to the point where he could be deemed as having lost the 3 years later, I still don't know. How could he protect his honor if he's dead? If anything, he gave up his chance to defend himself. The closest piece of info I have is that my father had been investigating the serial...
Ah, so that's why you're so determined.
That's right. I've also tried to investigate the murder my father was implicated in. But, however, I believe that if the murder case is related, I must know what really happened. Was my father coerced? Framed? If only he'd been more open with me when he was still alive. He even hid the fact that my mother died due to complications when giving birth, and now, here I am investigating his death.
Demoiselle, please. If there is anything
I also will never believe that Master Callus murdered anyone. Master Callus did so much good in life, yet all it took was even our supporters decreased greatly due to that incident, hence our...
Wait! If Callus was such a good man, wouldn't people...
No. Perhaps people just revel in that kind of drama. People love watching the evil turn over a new leaf, but they also enjoy watching good people...
But how could... never mind.
There is one other thing. Master Callus's opponent in the duel was Miss...
Oh! Her? Well, then... Isn't that as... Yeah... That's not the sort of thing that...
Miss Clorand has always placed great emphasis on the honorable nature of the duel. She knew Master Callus beforehand and greatly respected him, but seeing how there was only ever one...
It's not that I don't understand her at all, but I...
Don't worry, Navia. Paimon knows how you feel.
Afterward, Miss Clorand told us that at the start of the duel, Master Callus requested that she ensure Demoiselle Navia's safety. Yes, that is our understanding.
Oh, Papa. What madness drove you to ask the All right, anyway. That's the information I wanted to share with you. Thanks. You two should go and
Yeah!
Please, relax and get some sleep. We will ensure you...
Paimon slept so well. This place feels Huh? Navia?
I sent them back to Pуассон. It's Spina de Rosula's place of origin, and where we have our headquarters.
Paimon gets the feeling that you're just trying to get them off your back, but never mind that. When did...
No, I just returned after going out for a while. I did some investigating.
Wait, so you didn't sleep at all?
How could I after having such
Guess Paimon wasn't speaking for everyone just...
Unfortunately, this name seems to have been wiped from existence. I suspect that those behind this have already taken steps to hinder an investigation from this angle.
Does that mean we're...
No. There is one ray of hope. One place in Fontaine that they would find... and that is the archives kept by Chief Justice Neuvillette. A place where detailed files on all... If the Oceanette you met is one of the young women who went missing recently.
So Neuvillette maintains an archive of case files? In that case, let's go talk to him. Aren't you coming along, Navia? Did you get
No, it's nothing. Let's go see the Honorable Chief The palais is right up ahead. Come on.
Halt! Please state your business here. The Chief Justice is presently occupied with official... This place does look pretty heavily guarded.
Hey, don't you recognize us?
Huh? Who are you? Just to be clear, I don't care who you are or...
See? They've got great discipline, too.
Yep. Paimon can If you're here just to crack jokes, I can point you towards the exit. Unlike some, we're busy, so please...
No. What I meant to say is, shouldn't you remember us from a few days ago? We were at the trial of the great magician Linny.
Oh, yes, I remember. I read about it in the Steambird. You must...
We're here today to report and archive some information on a
Huh. Is that even a thing?
Of course. Don't worry. We're here on official bit.
All right then, I'll let you through. The Chief Justice...
Ah, thanks so much.
Please come in.
Sorry to barge in, Monsieur Nervalet. We only like to get...
It's all right. Please let me know how I may be of assistance.
So you're not...
We are looking for a man called Vache. He may have been an eyewitness in the serial disappearances case.
Ah, I see. In that case, please wait here.
Who knew that Nervalet would be so easy to talk to?
Unfortunately, I'm quite certain that no one by the name of Vache has been involved in any case, criminal or civil. There are no records of him either in the files or in my memory.
Traveler, what if it was really...
Is that so? All right then. Thank you so...
Ahem. Miss Navia, I can understand how you feel. Your father, Callus, was a truly exceptional man. We deeply regret his passing.
And what are you trying to say, Monsieur Neuvillette? Are you trying to console me? Extend your sympathy? Or just express some No. You are not trying to do any of that. I can hear it in your voice. There's no emotion. It's just like last time. After my father took his place in the duelist ring, I pushed through the guards to talk to you. You even told me then that you thought there was something fishy with the case, yet you still allowed the duel to go. In your eyes, the value of a human life is nothing compared to those cold laws. If you truly regret my father's death, then why didn't you call a stop to the duel? Why didn't you give me the power to stop him from throwing his life away? Why did you just let him die, despised and hated by all? Everything was hanging on a thread at that moment. There are still so many things I never got to tell him. If you really have no heart, then just look me in the eyes. I, Navia, will show you the truth.
I'm sorry, Miss Navia.
You and my father are truly alike. You keep all kinds of... It's not so much that you can't feel, but that you would never Oh well. In any case, everyone already knows full well my apologies for taking my emotions out on you, Monsieur Chief Justice. Let's go, Traveler and Paimon.
Navia, are you okay?
I'm fine. Rain. It's raining.
You're right. Wasn't it still sunny when we went into the building? And there shouldn't be any active trials today.
Now that I think of it, on the day my father was convicted of murder...
What is it? Did you think of something?
Yeah, he was outside. It was uncovered and the rain could fall there. Why? Do you think that thought has occurred to us before? We've even expanded the search area to try to account for that, but didn't find anything of value. Oh? Wait. You don't mean...
So you're saying that the true murderer could have been turned into water? Yeah! And if that's what had happened, Then no one would have believed you're...
I really think I found a true genius for a partner. You're completely right. All right, let's go to Pуассон. With this new lead in mind,
Yeah, we're gonna make progress for sure this...
do you want to go with me now? Or do you want to head over by yourself? Great, let's go then.
Whoa, what a huge ship! Why would a ship...
There's no need to be so surprised. Well, my father was the one who asked for it to be built like this. Perhaps our tastes in exterior a gigantic and glamorous ship embodies discovery, opportunity, ambition, and conquest. It symbolizes Spina di Rosula's bright and limitless future.
And Paimon thought you were bluffing when you said Spina di Rosula had a... Paimon was confused why a group with such a history would live in this... But now that Paimon has seen this ship for herself...
Well, Pуasson is where Spina di Rosula began, after all.
Time to go.
Melus, we're back!
Apologies for the wait, demoiselle, and our most important partner. You said before that you still had some business at the court. What brings you back?
About that. It's because my partner here reminded me of something really important. You see, what? You still remember, right, Melus? On that night, it was...
Yes, the case was quite similar to that of Mr. Linney's. Both were what you'd call
Could you tell us a bit more about what happened before?
Yeah, of course. Many years ago, something called synth began to gain popularity. At a glance, it was a kind of drink that could excite your mood and produce many pleasant...
Wait! Didn't that guard guy who turned into water also mention that the primordial water...
Yes, he did. Considering what we know now, it's almost certain that synth is created using water. If you drink synth for an extended amount of time, you'll suffer many side effects, such as losing... And if you were to stop drinking it completely, you'll experience flashes of paranoia and anxiety while lacking energy. As he oversaw Pуasson, my father was compelled to put a stop to synth abuse and called for a complete ban of it.
Boss's uncompromising attitude incurred the synth vendor's wrath. But no matter how much they threatened or bribed, not only that, Boss became determined to find the mastermind behind...
Yes, but the enemy was very cunning. So he could never get anything out of the dealers. Recognizing that, my father decided to contact the dealers in secret and cultivate personal relationships with them. The man's name was Jacques. He felt greatly ashamed about his work after seeing many families destroyed by synth abuse. That night, my father hosted a banquet at his countryside estate. He planned to meet up and exchange information, but then we heard 2 gunshots from the courtyard. We raced to the scene and found my father, still holding a gun, and Jacques, who...
Huh? How did that happen?
Sounds just like Lenny's case, doesn't it? In both cases, the culprit seemed obvious, but neither... Looking back on it, though, I now believe the most important clue was something we all overlooked at the time. There were pieces of clothing... Precisely. It's all thanks to you that I made the connection now. Back then, we all just thought... But, considering it now, it's almost certain that they belonged to a third person at the scene. With one extra person, we'll also need to reconsider why You're right. We still don't know what happened. But my intuition tells...
Jacques was an empathetic man who was infinitely remorseful for his past actions. It's unlikely that he turned on Boss with... I think this third person is... On that note, however, even though this will not please you, demoiselle, as your and your father's... Our opponent is insidious and cruel. They are extremely difficult to deal. Even though Spina de Rosula has lost most of its former glory, Pуассон has welcomed a new time of... There is no need to follow your father's path. It would be both wise and in...
If that's indeed what he wished for, then he should have told me that. Was I not the closest person to him? And yet, I was the... What was the point of him dying without sharing any of the secrets he knew? Did he manage to protect any? Synth is still here. Callus the Unfaithful is still his epithet. And Spina di Rosula, did he think I'd just accept his meaningless death? And live out my life just as... I've never accepted that. Ever. Not since that day, and certainly not now. I want to find out the real answer for everyone's sake.
Navia.
This is indeed the best moment to act. Your partner appears to be quite reliable, and more importantly...
So you do know something else, Malus?
Yes, I do. In fact, even before that banquet, Boss already knew of the connection between Synth and the serial But what drove all the tensions to the boiling point was the revelation that you, demoiselle, had been selected as the next target to disappear.
What?
Boss also didn't tell you that he had been diagnosed with a rare illness. The doctors told him that he had, and the serial disappearances case caused him. 5 years was nowhere near enough time to resolve this long-standing conflict. But knowing all of this, he decided to use one final intimidation tactic before his death. He claimed to have already gotten his hands on some, but as long as you remained safe, he would not share the evidence with the public. If something were to happen to you, then he and all those he told would immediately expose all they knew about Synth and the disappearance.
Right, so nobody would be able to get off scot-free.
As we've seen, Boss's tactic has worked. Even though Boss has been gone for a long time, the other side has not tried to take Demoiselle's...
No, I don't believe it. He never...
No father wants their daughter to see them weak and haggard, especially someone as proud as Boss. To him, dying in a duel and suffering lasting dishonor as the unfaithful...
So he chose to die in silence.
I'm afraid you're not understanding this correctly, demoiselle. What Boss wanted to hand to you, if Boss's spirit could hear you telling me that you... I'm sure he'd be extremely proud.
That fool. Couldn't he have just... No. He might have set up everything precisely because he never thought Is that the amount of confidence he had in me? And what if I was never able to make it to where I am now? Yeah. I suppose that's true. With the way he'd set things up, if I had wanted... But thankfully, he rarely talked to me about complex matters, and thus understood little of me as a person. Malus, what was the key evidence that he shared with...
It's the location where Synth is produced. Essentially, when he was threatening the enemy, Boss didn't share the But if you want to use it against the enemy...
Why? If we know where the place is, can't we just go...
You mustn't forget that we're fighting against a mysterious and dangerous... There's no telling what might be lying in wait at their headquarters. We also have... But a single visit to their headquarters would be tantamount to a formal declaration. The worst case would be that we leave empty-handed.
Then, in that case, why not work with the Fontaine authorities?
Well, you saw one of them dissolve during Mr. Linney's case. We have no...
That's true. Seems my father really had no choice, but things are different now. It should be a lot easier to prove the other side's guilt.
You sound like you've put a lot of thought into this, Malus.
I am the butler, after all. I live but to serve. I've always been willing to take on any kind of risk for your sake. But considering my relative lack of ability, I've spent my time...
Thank you for all of that, Malus. Have you discovered any—
Let me think. One conclusion I came to was that the enemy must be quite familiar. When I announced orders to the organization's members on Demoiselle's behalf, I used to if the vendors didn't change their plans, then the individuals informed of our orders must be innocent. If the vendors backed after several rounds of testing and investigative tracing, I've narrowed this. The first is Florent, Spina de Rosula's senior advisor.
Huh? Florent?
Yes, surprising, isn't it? He was one of the people Boss trusted the most, which also means, thanks to his position within Boss's innermost circle, he always knew our upcoming plans and could thus avoid. There's someone else like him too. Marcel, the head of Confrérie of Cabri.
Uncle Marcel.
It's a guild in Pуассон. Boss helped it to grow to it. In the beginning, they were only reselling some daily goods, but now they're...
So, they're like a sister organization of
Yes, you can say that. When we were fighting against the synth dealers, it's a bit difficult to imagine someone using their own...
The final suspect is Thierry, the man responsible for coordinating information between Spina de Rosula. Although the guards mostly leave us to our own devices, there are since Thierry is always in the know about our current activities...
I see. These are all to think that the enemy we've been fighting against has been right next to me all along. Among those
If you want to investigate them, please take every precaution to not alert the quarry.
Of course. And thank you, Malou.
You're too kind, my lady. I'm just doing my... And before I forget, proving Boss's innocence would also mean clearing... After that incident, Jacques' wife and daughter were taken into the Spina's care. They still live in Pуассон. If it might help, you could also pay them a visit.
Oh, thank you so much, Malus.
A new case awaits, my dear partner. I hope we can work together to uncover the truth.
It is settled, then. Please excuse me, and enjoy your conversation at your leisure.
Thank you for arranging everything for us,
Excuse me, miss. Do you need anything from us?
Oh,
Hey, Navia's all quiet. This isn't like her at all.
I'm sorry that I only came to visit after all this time. After what happened...
Ah, if it's about that, there's no need to apologize. After my husband died, Spina di Rosula...
But aren't all of those things nothing compared to the loss of Jacques? I can understand the kind of pain that comes with...
You don't understand at all.
I didn't know how to face you. Because I didn't know what I could possibly bring as a consolation gift. I know only the full truth could bring closure to you.
I'm sorry. I appreciate the sentiment, but you don't have... On the matter regarding my husband, my daughter and I have more or less...
Would you mind sharing it with me?
I always knew that my husband's money was earned through others' suffering. He told me countless times that if he could turn back the clock, he would... He had many regrets, and felt that he took the idea of providing for his family too literally. For the longest time, he thought more... So when Mr. Callis came to him with a proposal, he tried to be as careful as he could. But even so, he was still found out by the higher-ups.
They found out about his...
Papa didn't say that exactly, but Papa did tell me that I should never be ungrateful.
Before he left that day, he told me that he had no choice. It was only later that I realized it was his... I don't know that for sure, but you could say... Which is why I'm the one who should feel guilty. Callis had always taken... Even if he fired the shot that killed my husband, it was likely in self...
But Mama, why is Papa still the bad... Papa always wanted to be a good man. So why did he have—
Well, things aren't always as they seem.
Yeah. Papa was a really good—
Then you should hold on to that. If a good man had to do a bad thing, regardless of whether he left you a parasol or a sword.
Oh.
Thank you for everything you've told me. I will
Thank you. I'm very grateful. Even though your personality is quite different from your father's, your determination when you speak is really similar.
You really think so? That's the first time anyone said that.
Are you okay, Navia?
I'm fine. Don't worry. Let's investigate the 3 suspects next. The Roth should be nearby, and we should be able to find Thierry and Uncle Marcel in the city. I'll get myself together on the way, so please don't worry.